Hi, and welcome back to So You Want to Be a Radio Presenter. Now, this is a series where I share what I've learned over the years as an award winning presenter and current host of Sweetheart Radio. I'm Michie, Zambia's sweetheart. Now, if you've been following along, and if you haven't, you can just go back and watch the other videos. You find that we've talked about finding your why, discovering your voice, building your brand. But today we are getting into the real backbone of every powerful show. The one thing that separates the good from the unforgettable. This is episode 4, and we are calling this one The Power of Prep. And by prep, I simply mean preparation. Now, I know the idea of preparation doesn't sound cool or exciting, but let me tell you this. Behind every smooth show, every natural sounding host, and every how did they do that moment on air is a whole lot of prep. Now, preparation is what gives you confidence. Preparation is what allows you to pivot if something goes wrong. Preparation is the reason a listener feels like you get them. So it's not just about writing down questions or doing quick research 5 minutes before a guest walks in. It's understanding tone, timing, language, delivery. It's knowing how to stack a show so the energy builds and doesn't drop. It's asking, if I only have 3 minutes to reel in my listener today, what would they want to hear? And look, I could talk about this all day, but why should I when I have someone who has lived and breathed radio for over 20 years? Now, he's a mentor, a boss, and someone whose prep game is unmatched. So, joining us now to break down the real meaning of preparation, how he does it, and what young presenters often get wrong when it comes to prep, here is Luchi.
Um, okay, I guess. Hi. Hello. I guess maybe let me start with what presenters, especially young presenters, get wrong. I'm sure you've noticed that I'm camera shy, so I'm looking down. But I think, um, I guess maybe for a lot of people, they just don't know what prep is, and the assumption is, and you can hear it sometimes when you listen to radio, where guys walk in um, and they just kind of open up the internet and just dive into talking about whatever they find on the internet at that particular moment. So I guess maybe that's the one thing that people get wrong in terms of the prep. But prep doesn't just begin from prep starts from what content actually is and what content you're trying to deliver to your audience. So I guess the first thing is always, do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who your audience is? And once you know who your audience is, then the next question is, all right, how do I put together a show? And that show can only be put together when you put together, a decent prep. So I'll give myself as an example. When I used to do breakfast many years ago, my prep used to start at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. And fun fact, I still wake up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not prepping anymore for a show, but the diseases that I still had then are the diseases that I still have now. So I would wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because I realized that there were things that possibly would have happened from the time that I slept until the time I woke up. And because you've got a show at 6 o'clock, you want to try and put it all together in a way that makes sense. But the prep started immediately after our show ended. So our show would end at 9 o'clock. And, the guys who were here then, I think they would testify. I would spend literally the whole day at the station, putting together what the show should look like tomorrow, the following day. So it would be, I'd sit in the newsroom as an example, speak to the journalists, editors, like what are the stories you guys are chasing? Because I obviously understood that that's important from a breakfast perspective as well. That's important. The news is important, and what sort of content do we put together for news? Sorry, this has gone on for too long, but I guess so what kind of news do you put together? Then it moves away from just the news perspective now to who is our audience and what sort of content does our audience want to listen to. And so I would then sit and try and figure out, all right, what do we talk about in every link? What are those what emotions am I trying to evoke from every link that I put together? Um, what am I trying to achieve? Am I trying to make people laugh? Am I trying to make people sad? Am I trying to make people angry? So it's all of those that you sort of have to put together, and you put together in a very nice structured way, such that when you walk into the studio, whether it's a 6 o'clock show, it's a 12 o'clock show like Michie, it's a 15 o'clock show, the prep is so easy because you just have to sit down and just deliver it. Whereas if you haven't prepped it, you're going to spend your entire show trying to figure out, oh, I need to do this. Oh, okay, what do I say next? What do I say? But when you got the prep done, it'll have everything. It'll have your music, it'll have your various talk links. And so everything is so much more easier because it's so well structured. So you can't over or underestimate the power of prep. And for anyone who wants to be in radio, if you aren't prepping at the moment, start to prep and do it in small bits. If you have a musical show, that's cool. People who do musical shows always think they don't need to prep, but there's still amazing things that you would still have to prep for. What are you playing? What is there any background or history to what it is that you're playing? I'll give an example. Panji. If I showed anybody Panji's prep sheet, it is amazing, and yet it's Saturday show, it's a Saturday morning show. But when you hear it and you read the prep, it just kind of makes sense. Everything is just sort of together. So you cannot underestimate the power of prep. So to anybody who's young, trying to get into radio, prep. It'll change your life. I close.
Oh, what a legend. Now, I hope you're taking notes because that right there was gold. So, prep is where the real work is and the real magic starts. The more you prep, the more confident you become. And that confidence, listeners can feel it. All right? Now, next time on So You Want to Be a Radio Presenter, we go even deeper. Episode 5 will be about finding your style. I'll help you figure out your natural presenting style and how to lean into it without faking the funk. Don't forget to follow, like, share these videos if they're helping you grow, and tag me with your radio questions. I might feature yours in the next episode. Until next time, prep with purpose, speak with heart. You got this.